What up, everybody? It's the Rottweiler Patriots. I'm Vegas,
I'm T-Bone.
and we're coming at you with another video today where we're going to be discussing the Carolina Panthers Week 13 matchup against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Panthers fall to the Bucks 21-18, just couldn't quite get the job done. T-Bone, what are your thoughts on this one?
Pain, pain, and pain. That being said, the stats don't look great, but there's a lot to be learned from this game because this was the first game without Reich, So there's a lot to learn from this game. So let's start off with let's break this down. We're gonna do what's bad, what's good, and then what we can work on and sort of what to do. So what's bad? Offense. O-line. No receivers is kind of sad. And I'm a big Adam Thielen fan, but as you can see, kind of sad showing today. He doesn't have a lot of receivers. Like I've said, his number one receiver is a dinosaur. So that kind of really I believe it's the average time Bryce Young has in the pocket is about 1.2 seconds. I believe that's what it was. You can't even get off. Yeah, okay. According to Pro Football Focus, 1.4 seconds. That is abysmal. That is abysmal. So those are some of the things you can look at and really hone in on. Receivers, O-line. Those are the big problems. I don't dislike Chris Tabor. I definitely feel like he's an interim coach. I mean, I think the players like him. Okay, he's fine. This is not a Steve Wilkes situation, and it sucks to see, but it's okay. We're gonna. It's Wilkes was a golden goose, and we let him go. Tabor is not a golden goose. That's not saying I don't like Tabor. I'm just saying this is not the same situation where he's got the whole locker room and really we're just really excited. This is kind of just they're going through the motion. It's an interim head coach, yada yada yada. So that's kind of hard. But Bryce Young is when it comes to receivers that have separation and accuracy, he is one of the most accurate quarterbacks. It's been done. It's been done. I've seen some charts. Very accurate when given a little bit of time. And that just shows you the pocket collapses so quickly. And he's been a real trooper. Been a real trooper. So with that, it's kind of some of the bad. Also bad is, David Tepper. But that's talked about. Tepper rant was last week. You want my thoughts on David Tepper and ownership? Go to last week. You know my thoughts. I don't like him. He should go. That being said, I have heard that Greg Olson said that if he was interested, or if Tepper was interested and the Panthers are interested and they offered, he would accept the head coaching job. And I think that'd be great. I think that'd be really cool because there's some vets on the team like J.J. Jansen and Shaq Thompson, who I hope stays, that were playing with Olson, playing with him on the Panthers. That's kind of cool to see. Now he's the head coach. I think that'd be a really interesting opportunity. So let's focus on the good now. Mingo was not great last week. His numbers showed better than he was because he dropped a couple and it just wasn't that great. He was just getting fed the most. Mingo's starting to come into his own. He is showing that him and Bryce kind of have a connection, and that's good. So he's getting fed, and this week it's not just stat padding. This time it's actual good stuff. Good, very solid plays that have been done. So it's very, very good, and I suppose I should say, reassuring to see that Mingo can be that, a good option for Bryce. So if we get some more receiving help and, maybe Mingo gets to wide receiver 2 or crap, depending on what we do, wide receiver 3, darn good wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3. Looking at him right now, you can see he's doing better. They're taking steps forward. I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks ago I saw Mingo's stats. I think he's like doubled some of them because how much he's been getting fed. So it's always nice to see, maybe not rookie of the year stuff, but still, hey, hold on to this guy. He's kind of doing good work. DJ Chark, same thing. So receiving core is not great, but there are some flashes here and there of like, okay, if we get better receiving options and have these guys in sort of more relief positions, that's solid. These are solid relief guys. We get some of our crap together. This can be a solid roster. This doesn't mean that we have no receivers, but that doesn't mean the receivers we have are garbage. They can play roles. It's just we have to find the right spots for them. And I think we can. I definitely think we can. Because obviously, we can do better receiver wise. But it's good to see Mingo and Chark having spots, having reasons. Miles Sanders is continuing to. Miles Sanders just sucks, but good news is, because we're talking about good news, Chuba Hubbard is playing like he wants this job. Anytime he touches the ball, it's magic. He wants that starting position. He wants it. He wants to stay on the roster. And if you asked me 2 years ago, I was ready to ship Chuba out. I wanted to keep Foreman and get rid. What I wanted last year was to keep Foreman. Don't let him sign with Chicago. Keep Foreman and as our power back and have Miles Sanders. But here we go, letting Deontay Foreman walk and keeping Chuba. He's proven he wants the job and he wants to keep it. And I mean, the 2 touchdowns we've had of the day were with him. That's great. I mean, I wish we had more, but he's proven he is a goal line threat, receiving threat. Anytime he's fed the ball, he can get you like 3 or 4 yards. So good stuff. 25 attempts does not look bad, does not look great, but also he was getting fed the goal line, so they kept on giving him the attempts. So other good stuff we can look at. Because there's not a lot. There's not a lot of good stuff to look at. This is we had to win out. And I think the rest of the NFC South had to lose out for us to make the playoffs. And that didn't happen, so but I mean, honestly, we've been holding some practices for some free agents that haven't seen the field in a while. Didn't really go anywhere, but yeah, that's about it. It sucks that we weren't able to win against Baker. And that interception was, stress time. We have to get down in order to score in the fourth quarter. So I don't blame that on Bryce. I mean, the pocket collapses on him so quickly. So I certainly think this is just another one of those games where I am reaffirmed that if shoring up that offensive line and getting some more receiving threats, we can make noise. We can definitely make noise. Because, I mean, and you think about it. Once Bryce gets a better line, and this is the thing, even not with this team, in his football journey, if he does leave us, if he gets a better line, he's going to be he'll be so much happier and so much better of a player because you got to think this is how he's acting when he has barely a second and a half before someone is touching him. Barely a second and a half before someone is touching him. He has to move quick. And so if you take that and put that behind something great, you know how much he could get done. So, like I've said before, this is definitely a trial by fire. But if we get our act together, oh boy! And this is a lot of ifs and whataboutisms, but sometimes that's what you got to do. Sometimes you can't focus on the present and look towards the future, especially with off season coming soon. At least soon for us. But I tell you what. We'll talk about it a little bit more. Talk about Brian Burns and J.C. Horn. So, J.C. Horn came back, didn't do much, but I mean, he was coming off that Achilles injury from week 1, so you'd probably nurse him a little bit. Xavier Woods. I am happy that Xavier Woods is getting some love. I'm a big Xavier Woods guy. I believe in him. So, Brian Burns got ejected for punching a Bucks player, and it is heavily implied that the Bucks player said a racial slur to him. So, obviously, gotta. It sucks to be ejected, and you want to do stuff, and I don't stand for any of that crap, but I'm not going to be too hard on the guy. If that really happened, and I don't doubt that Brian Burns does seem like the guy to make crap up. I don't blame him. I don't like needless fighting, but if crap's said to you, you got to stand on business. So obviously he got ejected for it, but oh well, it's really it's not that big of a deal. It is what it is. The big worry is just what's going to happen in the offseason about who's going to walk and who's not going to walk. And I'm hoping that we can really just entice people with the rebuild. Sorry, the rebuild. So, sure, right now sucks. It really does. It's not great. We're not really being happy and all that. But I promise you, Carolina fans, something's coming around the corner. We will be rewarded for our patience at some point, and we're a culture, okay? As much as David Tepper really brings it down, we are Carolina strong. We are a resilient people, and I know one day, and you better believe we're gonna make a video about it when they win the Super Bowl, and we're gonna be very happy. And I'll celebrate all with y'all. So that's all I got to say. Vegas?
I mean, yeah, it definitely sucks right now, but I'm not going to lie. I think the future of the Carolina Panthers is brighter than people think it is. If, and this is a big if,
Big F.
David Tepper can learn from his mistakes.
Big time.
Because I believe that David Tepper wants to see the Carolina Panthers win games and be successful as an organization. I think he genuinely cares about the team and wants to see them win the Super Bowl. To the point where he actually cares too much and gets in the way. So I'm going to give him credit at least for actually caring about the success of the team, which is more than can be said for a lot of owners. But if given that he cares, I think he's more likely to learn from his mistakes, and if he can, and he can bring in the right guys to build a culture, I think the future's bright, because I think Bryce Young is actually a very good quarterback in a very bad situation. I have looked at some of his tape, and my goodness, is it pretty. His accuracy is among the best in the league. You just don't get to see it that often because he's constantly running for his life. But you got Hubbard. I think Mingo could develop a little bit. You got Thielen for a couple more years if he's willing to stay. If you're able to go get a true wide receiver one, and there's a few of them, like you get a guy like Mike Evans, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins in the offseason, or I don't know, you draft a guy, although without a first-round pick, probably not going to happen, and you bolster that offensive line, Panthers can go places, especially in a division as weak as this, so don't be surprised if the Panthers win the division next year just because. But again, David Tepper has to learn from his mistakes. If he can do that, the Panthers are in a really good position for the long run. Now, if he fails to learn from his mistakes, then say your prayers. Y'all are going to have some talent, but at the end of the day, talent requires culture. Just look at the 2022 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That team had the same talent that had just won them a Super Bowl and gotten them very, very close to another one. Got knocked out by 3 points, the eventual Super Bowl champs. They still had a lot of that same talent, but the coach changed and the culture changed. And you could just tell by the end of the season, the only one on that team who cared was Tom, because that's Tom. But not even Tom was able to elevate the people around him and get them to really care about winning the game. Like, they were a playoff team, and it looked like they didn't want to win. And you could just tell, losing that culture from Bruce Arians and going into Todd Bowles, you lost that culture, and it affected the success of the team regardless of the talent. If Tepper can learn that, the Carolina Panthers are going to be a very successful franchise for a very long period of time, and with how bad the NFL is, and I foresee it not getting any better, I dare say there might be a Super Bowl within the next decade of the Carolina Panthers, if Tepper learns from his mistakes. T-Bone, you got any final thoughts?
No, I was thinking there. I was just gonna say Tom Brady's so good. He took a 3-14 Tampa Bay Buccaneers and turned them into a 7-9 team. No, because without Tom last year, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would have just disappeared.
Absolutely.
But that's beside the point.
He willed them into the playoffs and couldn't will them past the Cowboys' inability to kick an extra point.
Yep.
So, but like there's a lesson to be learned there. You have the greatest player of all time, still playing good football at 45, was snubbed to the MVP the year before. And the lack of culture destroyed that team. And I think it's why Tampa Bay isn't that great this year, because you saw how well they started the year, but it just got worse, and I think that was more of a culture issue than a talent issue. Todd Bowles needs to be fired. They shouldn't have hired him to begin with. Byron Leftwich should have gotten the job. So if you're a Carolina fan, you're happy about that. As a fan of football, I think that sucks. I want to see the best football possible, especially given how awful the product is, but it is what it is. Those things are important, and if Tepper learns that, y'all are going places. Anyways, I think that's where we're going to wrap it up. Please be sure to leave your thoughts down in the comments below. We would love to hear what you all have to say. And that is going to do it for us today. Thank you all so very much for watching. Please be sure to hit the like button. Please be sure to subscribe. And we will see you all in the next video.